All right, guys. Well, I had a problem with my recorder. We're having a little bit of a technical difficulty, but we have Ernie on the line, and it's June the 8th, or a little after 4 o'clock. And Ernie, I hate to get you to do this again, but we had technical difficulties. Would you mind repeating what you said? It was shocking that Pastor Kent Hovind has been put in the hole.
That is correct. It could be rumor, but we've heard through a domino effect of a third party calling out to another party who called in to our camp and told us that he had been thrown in the hole. And I also have verified the fact that his family has been told he's been thrown in the hole as well. So that portion of it makes me think that this is probably factual information, though at this point we can't confirm nor deny it. Just more of their stuff that they like to pull. Now that we've actually thrown it up that his home confinement was confirmed for February, here they are still holding him. Everybody's passing the buck around in the BOP saying, nobody signed off on it. Somebody didn't do their job. We don't know who didn't do their job, but now they've thrown him in the hole, and it looks like that could be their means to hold him all the way until his August the 9th confirmed release date.
Wow, and that's I'm looking at my countdown timer. That's like 61 days away still, and it's absolutely crazy, Ernie. And just to share with you, we kind of issued a PR campaign to contact Warden Marcus Martin, but it was all polite. We made a strong emphasis on when you reach out to him, be polite. But we were asking Marcus Martin to look into, Pastor Kent Hovind's previous approval of home confinement. And to hear that he's been thrown in the hole is just absolutely ludicrous. I mean, it's just absolutely absurd that they would, penalize Kent Hovind like this when he hasn't, I can't imagine what the reasoning would be like. But like you said, they will use this as an excuse to keep him the whole time. It's just absolutely crazy.
It is, and that's the fear we have, and this is a very corrupt system, and I don't know anything to do other than tell our congressman, you've got to fight this system. It's got to be changed.
Right, and who knows what they might do. They could take away his email privileges, his phone privileges, and we could be without any sort of communication at all. I mean, I don't know that that's the case. I hope that's not the case, but these people are corrupt. And I would just say, if they were honest, above-board people doing, their job, and, why would they be concerned about people asking them to look into the situation? That's all anybody is doing. Any letters or any communications that were sent to the warden were simply, please look into Kent Hovind's situation. We believe that he was approved for home confinement. There was no rudeness. There was no, anything of any sort to make them feel uncomfortable. The only reason they would feel uncomfortable, with polite requests like that is if they're not doing something above board, so.
It's in the communications that the committee approved him for February the 11th release. That has been said. That is documented in the BOP emails and communications. The only kickback now is that we've had some of the BOP officials come back and say the warden never signed off on it before they transferred him from Berlin to wherever, and because somebody dropped the ball and didn't sign it, now they're holding their breath and putting him through the runaround.
Yeah. And
then here we go again, throw him in the hole as an excuse to push it out even further.
Wow. Let me share this.
Part of this is fact, part of it could be rumor.
Yeah, I realize it's a very unclear situation, and let me share part of what I think might be going on. I don't know that it's going on, but we know that, the whole situation of Kent Hovind, we know that it's more than just pulling, Jeremiah out of the pit. There's a bunch of hyenas that have gathered around the pit, right? And Kent Hovind does have a dedicated group of enemies, even as small as they devote themselves all day long to slandering Kent's name. And what I will say is it's very possible one of those hyenas, one of those trolls, one of those reprobate degenerates have made a phone call to the prison and said a bunch of slanderous stuff about either Kent Hovind or someone, right? And they try to paint him in this bad picture. And rather than the prison system investigating to whether it's a valid report, they just buy into it. And all of a sudden, Kent Hovind is like calling the IRS on your neighbor, to get 10%. Whistleblower reward or something. And an example of that is when we went down to Pensacola, Florida, and we checked into that hotel. One of the guys told me that somebody had called down and said, when Rudy checks into this hotel, be aware, because he comes with a lot of violence and he's got firearms and he's going to be, bringing a lot. And it's like nothing could be furthest from the truth, but the hotel was like, concerned, right? And so I'm just concerned that Kent's enemy camp, as small as they are bamboozling these people at the prison system, and they just don't got enough sense to investigate it themselves,
Amen.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what to say, Ernie. Go ahead, brother.
Well, the one thing these people, we know they're paying attention to everything. The one thing they have to understand is every single thing has been documented online for the public. Okay, they can try to hide in the shadows, but we've shined a lot of light into this whole entire thing. Okay, whoever did not sign off on the paperwork, you better be worried that you're going to get fired or get sued when Kent Hovind gets out, because somebody dropped the ball, and there will be an investigation and all this stuff, whether they like it or not. So they can try to pull all the crap that they can, but believe me, it's all documented, and you better be worried.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane that we got to deal with a situation like that. I hope it's not the case, and I hope in the next 24 hours we hear that he's no longer in the hole, or I hope that it's just all false, right? I mean, we don't know that it's 100% confirmed, but it's just very troubling that we're at this point, and we're of the impression he could get out any day now because he was pre-approved, and now we hear that he could possibly be in the hole. It's just, it's a fight all the way, and these people just don't seem to have any sort of ethicalness or above boardness, and they don't like light being shined on them whatsoever. But I don't know, Ernie. I appreciate you sharing that with us, brother, and we'll keep on this till the day he takes his first free breath, and we're not going to stop. And I hate that it's like this. I wish everybody would just do their job and do the right thing, but it's going to be a fight all the way, it looks like.
Amen.
All right. Okay, thank you, guys. I'm going to go ahead and stop it, and we'll get it uploaded to YouTube.